to South Lake STEM News. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, also known as Earth Day. Earth Day is celebrated every year on April 22nd and was founded in 1970. There were a lot of influences that led to Earth Day become a globally celebrated holiday. In the 1960s, the American people became aware of the potential effects that pollution could have on the environment. At the beginning of the decade, farmers started to realize that pesticides had dangerous effects on the agriculture in America. In the late 1960s, a spotlight was put on the problem of chemical waste disposal. However, pollutants were still pumped into lakes and rivers with very few legal consequences. Up until this point, the concept of recycling was foreign to most people. The first Earth Day was held on April 22, 1970, and was effective at raising awareness about environmental issues and transforming public attitudes. Throughout this decade, the U.S. government prioritized safeguarding the environment. This stayed true as many environmental legislation was passed, like the Clean Air Act and the Endangered Species Act. Another huge leap occurred in December 1970 when the Environmental Protection Agency was established. This agency was created to protect human health and the natural environment. Over the years, Earth Day celebrations have continued to grow. In some places, Earth Day extends into Earth Week, a full week focusing on green awareness. Earth Day went global in 1990. The records show that it was celebrated by 200 million people in over 140 nations worldwide. This awareness has continued to grow. Today, Earth Day focuses on clean energy, and over 1 billion people are involved in Earth Day activities. This makes Earth Day the largest earthly public event in the world. And now, a closer look at some local Earth Day activities.
From our unique perspective from space, we're reminded that it is a beautiful oasis in the universe, a planet full of towering mountains, frozen landscapes, painted deserts, a planet teeming with life, one big ecosystem of which we are all a part. NASA's investment in space, the unique Earth science conducted from orbit, and the technology developed by living in space and exploring our solar system and universe, returns benefits every day to people around the world. People working to protect and sustain Earth's environment. People helping communities to thrive. NASA collects data from a fleet of Earth-observing satellites orbiting the planet 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We collect data from Earth-observing instruments on the International Space Station, aircraft, boats, and on land. We use and share that data to better understand the planet's interconnected systems and improve life on Earth. Innovations we develop are broadly available to industry and the public, and have cleaned up oil spills, propel wind turbines, purified drinking water, and more. We use our vantage point of space to monitor the health of crops, predict droughts and floods, to help engineers and planners mitigate the effect of sea level rise, map changes in land ice. We track wildfires, chart hurricanes, and diagnose air quality. But more than just just observing these phenomena, NASA provides near real-time data to first responders and decision makers to provide help when it is needed. Every day, cutting-edge technologies are being developed as we prepare to send the first woman and next man to the moon. Technologies that will someday benefit life on Earth. And as we explore the moon and Mars, we will learn more about Earth, inspiring us to be better stewards of our home planet. As NASA joins the world in observing the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, we reaffirm our commitment to understanding our planet's interconnected systems and to help protect them for future generations.
I'm coming to you live from the LaDuca Farms, where we're going to check on the progress of the greenhouse. The seeds were planted just 4 weeks ago and have made great progress. And even though it's springtime here in Maryland, it can still get quite cold at nighttime. So we plant the seeds in this greenhouse to help protect them while they're still fragile. So in a few weeks, when the temperature outside becomes a little more stable, we'll take all of these plants and transplant them into the garden outside. Thank you for joining me today at LaDuca Farms. Now back to you in the studio. What I have here is a glass of really dirty water. We're going to try a little experiment to see if we can clean this water up. We have a filtration system here. If I pour this into this filtration system, what do you think is going to happen? Is the water going to come out clean? Will it still have some residual dirt in it? Let's find out. So now that our water has had some time to filter through our column system, let's check out the results. Our water started out really cloudy. I'll take off our filter system. And our product is nice and clear. There's a little bit of cloud to it. This isn't water that I would drink, but the system did a really effective job of cleaning out the particles. So let's talk about how this works. Our different layers, we have our gravel, sand, carbon, and a paper filter. The gravel and the sand act as a purifier as the water trickles through. It's catching some of those larger particles and stopping it from going to the next level. Our gravel has larger spaces between it than the sand does. And if you noticed in the time-lapse video, the water got stuck right here and kind of just sat there for a while. It was taking some time for it to make it through all those tiny little spaces. So as it goes through each of these two levels, the water is finding its way through the spaces, but the particles, those dirty elements, get trapped. And then when it gets to this level, in the carbon, so this level has something called active carbon. And as the water comes through there, the chemicals that are in the water get absorbed by the carbon. And then the water continues to trickle down and it comes to this level where our paper filter is. And through the little fibers, right, there's lots of little fibers in that paper in a very small space. So what's making it through is the water is finding its way through those little spaces. This level in particular is really good at taking out oils from the water. And then it drops down into the cup. You have your clearer liquid at the end. If we took this water and poured it back through the system, we would get a clearer result each time. Now this whole system really represents what our water purification plants do. We take natural water, it goes through a purification process much like this, and they produce our drinking water that we get at home. The difference at a water purification plant is they're adding a few other elements to the water to make it safer for us to drink. So that's how we can clean water. This has been Southlake STEM News. What will you do to celebrate Earth Day? Not just today, but every day.